Hey everybody, it's Ann the Red and welcome back to What the Hell Happened? Like, seriously, I am at a... I'm so confused. I mean, like, my mind is racing with possibilities. Like, were you selling drugs on the side or some shit? Like, what happened? Did you do something after the fact? Well, we're gonna find out. I'm just like... Between recording the last episode and now, I've just been sitting here going, what the fuck did you do? What happened? How did this end up a thing? Alright. The next day, Aki and I went to the ward jail to meet Yumiko. She faces the guilty, distant smile. No, she's not. Now dressed in an orange jumpsuit. Okay, would you like to elaborate what are said troubles? What? We'd received word last night the police had taken her in on a warrant for numerous white-collar crimes, including tax evasion, fraud, and embezzlement. Seriously. Already the mass media had descended upon the story. As we walked into the jail, Aki was surrounded on both sides by a wall of journalists and paparazzi alike. But even knowing the humiliation that awaited her, Aki still demanded that she see face to face the mother who had both built her into the woman she was today and who had caused her so much torment. Yeah. Now staring at her mother behind bars, Aki's fist trembled in angst. She had so many words to say, but her throat squeezed shut. Yeah, I can imagine this is kind of a flurry, well, a hurricane of emotion sort of thing. Anger, confusion, just all of it mixing together into one awful vat of just make it stop. You beat your daughter, endangered her when her health was low, and you got, and you beat her after she, you know, got, propositioned by while she was a child by a creepy old motherfucker. I'd kind of say you deserve a bit of a, you know, some kind of comeuppance. And that was before I even knew about the rest of the shit. Alright, yeah. Making sure she actually finished. Yeah, I've kind of felt that way in regards to you for a while now. That, yeah. I'm sorry, did I talk over you? Yeah, compulsive lying. Alright, fine, sorry. We good? Alright. Yeah, compulsive lying. Nasty thing. I know a few people. Well, there's currently one person involved in my life who is a compulsive liar, and it is very annoying. Well, that's putting it lightly. It's fucking infuriating. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say you're a good person. I mean, there's worse than you. You enabled, okay, some very awful things to happen. And are guilty of some very awful things yourself. There are worse things you could have done, so I wouldn't say you're an outright monster, but you are not a good person by any means, by any stretch of... Just, no. Yeah, you're a pretty shit individual. Unfortunately. Finally, Aki gasped out the first words of her fury. Okay, here we go. For the past 10 years, she has suffered under the will of this woman. Well, and occasionally the, the firm slap or kick. But now her mother looked so small and helpless. Was she yelling at her or herself? Hmm. What kind of a world does a mother beat their child? And what kind of a world does a mother get angry at their child when their child refuses the sexual advances of an adult? These are also... just... continue. Yes. Yeah. This needs to be said. It's still painful though. It's still, the fact that it has to be is depressing. You weren't an idiot. It's just the fact that you had an abusive parent and you were not in a very, well, healthy space socially, considering the considering your life in the idol industry beforehand, and of course who your former producer was. You're not really to blame for this. You were the victim in this. Oop, I had my mouse off the game. Yeah. Aki's entire body trembled with both shame and fury. After all this time, she'd finally broken free from mother's chains. But now, facing the world on her own, Aki felt unfathomable dread. With a sigh, I spoke to Yumiko in a hushed voice. This incident has caused a great deal of trouble for Aki. Already the mass media is running negative stories about her, and as you know, the authorities have frozen her assets as well as seized her home. Shining Productions will do its best to handle the situation. However, I ask that you accept responsibility for what you've done to Aki. Well, at least you're doing that. There you go. One positive element. Yeah. I'm gonna be kind here and assume that you're actually making this request out of sincerity and not just to try and, twist some sympathy out of me. Because, I mean, I suspect that way it's a possibility, but like I said, I'm going to defer to the assumption that you're being legitimate with this request. Okay, yeah. Small mercy on my part. There you go. With that, Yumiko closed her eyes and bowed before me. Of course. I put my hand on Aki's trembling shoulder. Come on, let's go. Aki did not deign to give her mother one final look before leaving. At long last. Oof. With that, she put a pair of shades over her eyes and a cough mask over her face. The two of us left the jail only to be bombarded by a horde of journalists as soon as we stepped outside, fucking vultures. How was the meeting, Kashiwagi-san? What were your words to your mother? Producer-san, is it true that Kashiwagi-san was being blackmailed by her own family? How much does Shining Productions know about the alleged crimes? I held my hand in front of Aki's face as we were pummeled with the light bulbs of 1,000 cameras. Due to the pending investigation, Shining Productions has no comment regarding the situation at this time. Given the nature of the incident, we request that you respect Kashiwagi-san's privacy. But producer-san, the public has the right to know. The public has the right to go fuck themselves. Kashiwagi-san, your comments! Your comments! I whispered to Aki's ear and pushed my way through the throng of reporters. Come on, let's get out of here. Into the car. Ugh. Maria sighed as she watched the two talking heads on the television. So is it possible that Kashiwagi-san could be indicted as well on her mother's charges? Well, no. According to the prosecutor's office, the offenses are said to have occurred while Kashiwagi-san was still a minor. While juvenile prosecution is still possible, it does not seem likely the prosecutor's office will proceed with such an option, thanks to the generally high level of criminal sophistication required to carry the burden of proof on white-collar charges. There is another story going around on social media, isn't it? That Kashiwagi-san might have been the victim of blackmail. What are your thoughts regarding that? Certainly there's a possibility. The idol industry is replete with cases of underage talents being bound to contracts with their parents, which would be deemed illegal under national labor laws. It truly is a murky area of that law, that children as young as 12 could be bound to corporations. Is that why some commenters have called the idol industry the great shame of Japan? Ellipses. It only took 2 minutes for the mass media to start bad-mouthing us again. They say that, but whenever embarrassing photographs of one of us leak, it's them spreading them into the four corners of the world. Well, yeah, that's... They have to get views somehow. They have to bring in throngs of viewers. That's how they get their paycheck. Drama and bullshit. This is why mass media is garbage. Yeah, journalism is not so much dead, but it is, you know, wounded. Shot in the leg. It's already bad enough that Aki-chan's mom has been arrested, but now everyone's talking about it in the open like it's totally natural to discuss other people's family issues. It's really messed up. Because she was in the public sphere, well, public eye, and again, it makes for drama, therefore good headlines, blah blah blah, the leeches. Tessa-chan, you're forgetting that we're idols. It's only expected that everything about our life gets exposed to the papers. In the end, people aren't going to treat idols like normal people. It's a double-edged sword that makes us both popular and scorned. It sure is a tricky business. It sure is tricky, this idol business. As soon as Aki and I walked in the door, Maria picked up the remote and shut the TV off. There you go. We're back. Yeah, how was it? I loosened my tie. It could be worse. At least we managed to contain the situation. How are things on this end? Julia was already busy scrolling through her cell phone. So far, fans still seem to be on our side. Even if the mainstream media is bad-mouthing us, it's pretty much nothing idol fans haven't heard before. You can say the story is actually generating sympathy for Aki among our followers. That's good. Indeed, while the mass media was going to be looking at this from a negative standpoint, most of our fans were still going to back up Aki. It wasn't like she was caught in a scandal. Most likely, if we just laid low for a few days, the story was going to blow over. However, the harm this incident was going to cause Aki's well-being could not be understated. I turned to face Aki. You hear that? The fans are backing you up on this, and so are all of us. Tears welled in Aki's eyes. But that doesn't change the fact that Quasar is going to win this year's Grand Prix again. I said all that to look cool in front of my mother, but it doesn't change the fact that I messed up too. I smiled gently. Aki, I wanted to tell you this under better circumstances, but there's still hope. Eh? What do you mean? I promised I'd figure out a way for you to make a comeback in the hospital, at the hospital, didn't I? While you were recovering. Everyone here has been working around the clock. And thanks to our efforts, we managed to pull it off. On September 15th, we're finally gonna do it. That's when we'll be holding Starnova's first Tokyo Dome Live. Dome... Live? I felt like from your face, is you're gonna be leading us on the stage. That stage. The biggest one in our history. Now that we've got our dome live, it's totally alright if we bow out from the Grand Prix. Who cares what happens here if we have our big event with all the fans of the dome? Akian, this is your chance. Why don't we all take this deal? Everyone can save face what Picun's come up with. Indeed, even without the Grand Prix, the Tokyo Dome will still be more than enough to prove the nation that Starnova's time has come. Let's take this option. Those Quasar people can have their moment at Odaiba, while we mount our counterattack at Tokyo Dome. Aki-chan has already done enough. We have our Tokyo Dome. That's more than enough. There you go, Miku. Fuck! No! Mika! Fucking Val. It was always my dream to reach a dome. Come on, boss. Let's give up the Grand Prix and aim our sights at the dome instead. In war, some battles must be sacrificed for the sake of the campaign. What that Sun Tzu fella said. It's not like I particularly cared about the Grand Prix. Those Quasar hoes can whore out the stage of Odaiba all they want without us. Well, there you have it, Aki. Very classy there, Julie. Let's withdraw our Grand Prix application and blow up the stage at Tokyo Dome. Aki lowered her head, her facial expressions hidden under her bangs. She should have been happy to hear the unexpected news. However, for some reason, she was torn. Thank you for that. No, why? Why are you making me see this again? Oh, God. Yes, game, is there any reason that you're putting this back on the screen again? I don't want to have to see this. Oh, for fuck's sake. I have no interest in watching a child get abused by their parent, even if it's just a still image. No. Oh, fuck. Thank God. Oh, no, God. That's not any better. Oh, fuck's sake. No, go away. I'm not, just go away. Ugh. While this is depressing, it's not nearly as bad as the other shit. So, small mercies, I suppose. You know, I was beginning to wonder if this was actually gonna, come to fruition, her leaving. But now I'm starting to wonder. But now I'm starting to think she may actually just. This is it. It's like the last straw. She just wants out. I don't know. Maybe she won't. I don't know. Aki gripped her fists. She wanted to say skipping the Grand Prix just couldn't be helped, that waiting until the Dome Live was good enough. She had suffered, and maybe she'd been brainwashed after everything she'd gone through. Kind of, I mean, brainwashed, traumatized, in this case, it's hand in hand, yeah. But she still saw it. That beautiful stage where she was #1, undisputed, unchallenged, where the men chanted her name until it ceased to be her own name, but rather a descriptor for all that was desirable in this world. It was so beautiful. She still couldn't let it go. Not until she could look back and tell herself that she had done everything that she could that could be done. What the fuck? Oop. Sorry about that phone call. Right, where the fuck was I? She still couldn't let go. Not until she could look back and tell herself that she had done everything that could be done. That she had gone above and beyond what others would attempt. That she had been extraordinary, but had come short only due to a cruel twist of fate, and not due to the inadequacy of her will. I would say you don't need to... Well... needing to prove this to herself, you know, I can understand that. Just so long as you're not going to cause further, you know, damage to yourself mentally by, you know, through the stress. For very understandable reasons, yes. However, the background music suggests that we're going to get a heroic comeback sort of thing, so let's go. Could you speak up, Aki? The music's actually louder than your voice. At least it sounds like that for me. Alright then. Aki, is this truly what you want? Okay, that's a very understandable sentiment too. Yeah, I can see where you're going with it. I can see where you're coming from with that. I closed my eyes. So, this is what Aki decided in the end. It went without saying that I was worried. This girl had already pushed herself to the point of death. She'd been manipulated and exploited her entire life. Maybe this was still her mother talking. Maybe it was Oda's poison tricking Aki into doing this. Maybe the real Kashiwagi Aki wanted nothing more than to appear at our dome live and announce she was graduating from being an idol. But it wasn't my place to doubt her. This was Aki's story, not mine. As a producer, I was here to back her up, regardless of what she decided. Alright? You hear that, everyone? Starnova will not be withdrawing its application from the Grand Prix. We'll be competing to win first prize. Aki-chan, will you really be alright? After all, your body has not fully healed yet. And I haven't learned Heal 2 yet. Yeah, I'll be fine. I figured you'd do something like this. Alright, everyone. Our has made a decision. Honestly, I've been wanting to knock Quasar down a notch myself. If we skip this chance, they'll be able to regroup and come at us next to a full strength. This is our only chance to take them out while they're still weak. For the sake of what Aki-chan's done for us, let's all sing and dance so loud that she doesn't need to push herself so hard anymore. Come on, can we really call ourselves pro idols if all we've been doing so far is relying on Aki-chan to get us this far? Indeed, we've been relying upon Aki-chan too heavily. All of us must shine in Starnova to truly become #1. Had we only realized this sooner, then Aki-chan would not have pushed herself to the point of injury, and this unfortunate situation could have been avoided altogether. Well, parts of it. Maybe the worst of it, you know, that being her, near-death experience. So we are going to participate in the Grand Prix after all? Well, You know what they say about tsunderes? Of course I secretly wanted to participate all along. I'll just pretend not to care. Not for your sake, though. This is getting confusing. Julian's tsundere act is falling apart, huh? Shut it, you bumpkin. I ain't from around here either. I gotta work so hard to play to your expectations that I always feel like I'm about to get a migraine. Well, that's what Akion decided, then Natan will do her best too. But P-kun, you better watch out for her good, you hear? Because honestly, y'all city slickers are always doing crazy things. Always all up in a big rush to get things done. Even if you feel like there's a whole world to get fixed in, you can't go on forgetting about the important things. I'm starting to slip into a fucking country accent, Jesus Christ. Stop that. Holy shit, that's like the most reasonable thing I've ever heard you say. Well, Natan will be playing with y'all a lot too, but in the end, I guess even I got some opinions with this darn mess. P-kun, you watch Akion good, you hear? And put a stop to anything reckless. Yeah, Natan is exactly right. Then I suppose I can give this to Natan's seal of approval. Aki-chan, is this really the right path? Maybe someone like me who grew up surrounded by my family and friends could never understand what you feel right now, but we're still both pro-idols, so I'll try to put myself in your shoes. You don't have to do this for us. You don't have to do this to prove anything to anyone. We already know that you're an amazing person who got so far despite having started with so little. No matter what you decide or what happens, all of us will back you up. Even if the whole world abandons you, we'll all surround you. So it's alright to give up. All of us will support your decision. Thanks, but that's not happening today. Because I've already decided. I see. Then, I want to dance beside you on our big Grand Prix stage, just like last year. Except this year we won't be small-time idols. No, we'll be the #1 idol unit in the country. The 7 girls of Starnova looked at me, their eyes unified with resolve. I gulped. Alright, then let's get to work! We're a month behind schedule now thanks to Aki's injury, but if everyone works as hard as Aki from now, we'll definitely be able to get our routine done in time. Okay, you probably could have worded that differently because it almost sounds accusatory. And so, the girls of Starnova returned to work. As I watched the girls go through the routines in the days that followed, I came to a realization. In truth, idols were far from the perfect little domesticated dolls you saw on television. No shit. Idols were cracked, injured, and scarred repeatedly. But they survived. But they were survivors. They were women who had gone through the hell which would have broken the minds of grown men. Both sadness and pride welled up in my throat as I watched the 7 girls of Starnova prepare to march to war against Quasar. As their producer, I felt utterly deficient. I knew that each and every one of the girls of Starnova had accomplished things I could never have done. Had I walked their same path, I would doubtlessly have stumbled and given up. I held my feelings close. I had to do my best to promote my girls. It was the least I could do, having witnessed firsthand their struggle to make it to the top. These girls had become an irreplaceable part of my life now. The sight of their sweat-drenched faces as they went through their routine repeatedly made tears well up my eyes. Everyone, do your best. And I'm gonna call the episode here. Oh god, the fucking Imperial March style music. Right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode when we go back to see whatever these chucklefucks are doing.